Welcome, wonderful friends, to the Sunday rune and card reading. Thank you so much for joining me. So today is a very powerful full moon. The astrology is kind of almost like dynamite. It really is. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that in just a moment. Also, wanted to tune in with the Native American understanding of the moon cycles. We're in the third moon cycle of the year. And the moon cycle at this time, she's known as she who weighs the truth. So very interesting. The full moon is in Libra, so this is all about weighing things up, balancing things, looking at things that are out of balance, being also prepared, I think, to address any issues that need healing. So I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about this. So our beautiful moon is sitting in Libra. She obviously sits opposite the sun because that's what happens at every full moon. And the sun is also absolutely in conjunction with two other very significant planets, with Chiron and also with Venus. So Chiron is the wounded healer. Venus, again, rules Libra. So Venus is the planet of, she brings harmony, she brings balance. But you know, she's also... she has the feminine warrior energy. If we think of Mars as the masculine warrior energy, Venus is the feminine warrior energy. She's the lioness within. So there may be some things that we're shown around this time, and they may come through in the readings, that call us to actually have to step up and address something. We also have a very flowing influence with Saturn. It's a sextile here, coming into the Sun, to Chiron and to Venus. Saturn calls us to restructure. He brings us life lessons, and so very flowing energy coming in. So I think we may be shown a lot around this time that we are where we're needing to make adjustments, address something. We may have to step up, we may have to call something to account. Ultimately, we're calling ourselves to account. Remember, when we are, if we think about again the wonderful teachings of native peoples, there's very often no space and time for any form of judgment. If we make a judgment that is negative, critical, you know, that's going to come back on us. We're going to live with that inner criticism as well. If we see something that isn't okay, we must acknowledge that and validate that and take an ownership of our own responses. But we're not here to judge others. They're on their own pathway. But we do sometimes actually have to then evaluate our own position. And this has been particularly relevant and interesting for me this week because, as those of you that are following my readings, you will have probably noticed by their absence that during this week, I had said last week, I would be uploading big readings for every sign. I've been doing readings that span several months, and the purpose of this is we're kind of working in tune with the cycles. So it's kind of equinox to solstice, solstice to equinox. So we get a very different overview. None of those readings have been, well, I say none of them have been done. I did an amazing reading for Gemini. I will actually just show you the picture of that reading. Okay, so these are the cards and the runes that I drew. And Gemini, it was an amazing reading, and I will say a tiny bit about it. I'll perhaps do so at the very end of these readings. So any Geminis, you can touch base with me, or if you're cross-watching for Geminis. Basically, though, this reading has been blocked by YouTube. And this isn't the first time this has happened. I've had quite a few messages coming through from YouTube itself, saying that they feel it's the imagery actually of the cards that they are inappropriate. Now, these cards are widely used by many readers, so I feel like I'm in a really interesting space in terms of she who weighs the truth, because I actually don't want to judge YouTube badly. I think it's fantastic that they are actually becoming more stringent. It's essential that the social media platforms, I think, do step up and take a responsibility for the content on their channels. I think it's really right that they do so. However, there must be a duality, a two-way flow of, for me, accountability. The language that was used to describe the cards and the runes in this reading, I've put them up, I personally don't see anything offensive in them, was so extreme that I'm not actually even prepared to use it. And I have spent hours during this week trying to talk to a human being and trying to actually address this, because I want to be accountable. I do wish to be, I want to uphold appropriate ways of working. So, but the language that was used to describe this, which is why the reading was blocked, was absolutely extreme. And I haven't been able to find any form of accountability that would allow me, even talking to a human being, that would allow me any form of legitimate appeal or review. And so I'm actually having to seriously rethink whether or not I can continue to upload readings here. I can do the weeklies because they don't seem to have an issue with readings that are smaller. It seems to be whenever I upload anything of any length, that's when it gets scrutinised and often judged. There's been several that I've actually taken down and haven't actually published because I just didn't have the time or energy to try and sort of work my way through it with them. And so that's what's been happening during the week. It's why I haven't uploaded any other readings. Those of you that know me know that I spend a lot of time in preparation for my readings, and it's, as well as doing them and uploading them, you know, it involves a lot of time. It's one thing to put that time into the world because I wish to support people. You know, this is an amazing community. You guys are fabulous. You know, I truly, you guys, you know, I love you all so, so much. And I also need to say this week has been so packed full of trying to navigate this stuff. Not only have I not done any readings, but I have also, I don't think I've even got to all the comments from last week's readings on Sunday. So I apologise for that. But she who weighs the truth, you know, this is what this time is all about. So I'm needing to seriously reevaluate what I can and can't do, because to spend hours and hours and, you know, 12 readings is a lot of time and energy. That's one thing to put them into the world for free, but if they don't even get to you guys, then that's a lot of time and energy that's really, really gone nowhere. So I'm having to really reevaluate, and until I come up with a solution to this, you know, I will keep you posted. What I will say, if I just move that now, so we take that away. If you are on any of my email lists, then I will send out an email to everybody, kind of letting you know where I've got to in terms of the evaluation, what I can actually do, how I can move forwards, because, you know, I'm trying to look at other video platforms, but they also, of course, you know, are potentially costly. The one thing about YouTube is we can upload material for free, and as I said, I don't want to criticise their efforts to try and bring in, you know, greater accountability. I think what I'd like is accountability that works both ways. That for me is really, really important. So if you're on any of my email lists, I will keep you posted. Anyone who's listening to this, welcome, and my apologies for taking up so much time, but it's really important because I know a lot of you guys are waiting for those readings. And, you know, Gemini, I will put a little bit at the end just to give you a little bit of a flavour of what the flow is over the next 3 months. I will just verbally talk you through that and hope that we are actually able to, that this set of readings is actually allowed. If you're not on any of my email lists, I have a monthly draw. I give away a first signed limited edition of the Art of Manifestation Oracle cards every month and a free private reading. The link is in the information box below, and I've also put it into the comments for phone users. So if you want to join an email list and be updated on anything, that's probably quite a good one to be part of, because you're also then in the monthly draw, and you may get a free private reading or a pack of cards. So enough of all of that. Let's tune in to this incredible, powerful moon. We're going to use these 3 crystal hearts for guidance. For anyone that, having looked at the thumbnail at the beginning, if you know which reading you want to tune into, the in the information box and in the comments, there are timestamps, so you can fast forward to whichever reading or readings that you want to tune into. Sometimes it's more than one that is speaking to us. And we'll be drawing on the guidance from these beautiful crystal hearts. The first is selenite. It seems so appropriate to use selenite at the time of a full moon. Now, don't forget, wonderful friends, overnight put out spring water. You can buy it, you know, if you can't access spring water, you know, naturally you can use rainwater, or if you buy it in buy spring water in a plastic bottle, tip it out and leave it outside for a few days in something like a glass bowl or an earthenware bowl. So, you actually sort of reacclimatise it into its natural state. But if you put water out, you can use it in your ceremonies. It's an amazing thing to do. Selenite gets its name from Selene, the goddess of the moon. You can see how she literally does attract light, just as the moon does. She gathers light and redistributes it to the earth in varying ways. So selenite is an amazing crystal to be governing our first reading. Let me move our astrology down here for a second. I would say Selene literally can, it sort of enhances and empowers any other crystals that it's working with, but used in its own right, I think it really, really does enhance our capacity to receive divine guidance. It tunes us into our guides, our angels. So that is the energy that's going to be coming in and influencing reading number 1. Now, reading number 2, we're going to use this beautiful, beautiful lemon jasper heart. Lemon jasper, it's known as the supreme nurturer, and it is said to hold us together at times of stress and bring an inner stability and a sense of wholeness and completeness to us. It's actually connected to the solar plexus chakra, so very, very powerful in terms of our capacity to be centered, particularly in our ability to manifest as well. I think the solar plexus is so central to our ability to both internalize and externalize our conscious process of manifestation. Reading number 3, we are going to use this beautiful agate heart. Agate is said again to be one of the most amazing stones for rebalancing and realigning mind, body, spirit, emotions. I think it also gives us strength. You get a real inner strength. It helps us also, I think, to preserve and retain our energy. So it's a real treasure. It's also said to clear our aura. So if you are finding yourself, particularly around a full moon, if you're finding yourself very, very sensitive to sort of incoming energy, stuff that's coming in or going on around you is affecting you very deeply, this will help to keep your aura clean, help you to navigate from a position of your own purity. So those are the 3 hearts that we're going to be using for our readings. We are, as I said, in this extraordinary full moon phase of the 3rd moon, the clan mother, she who weighs the truth. So we're going to see a lot, I think, and no doubt that will come through, but with lots of energy for restructuring and making positive and powerful changes in our world. Anything that is going to heal, realign, rebalance, reharmonize. Great opportunity, I would say, as well for, conversations that heal as well, being able to talk to people, also have those conversations with ourselves where we take a balanced perspective, going back into that tribal awareness where we don't judge, we evaluate and we assess, we practice discernment, but we also don't judge, we evaluate with compassion. So let's move our beautiful little astrology stones to one side, move our chart to one side, and we are going to draw our cards. The cards we're going to use today are the Akashic Tarot. I'm also going to use Archangel Michael cards, the Keepers of the Light Oracle cards, and the Art of Manifestation Oracle cards as well. So let's first of all check in with the Akashic Tarot. Feels very appropriate, she who weighs the truth. The Akashic Tarot are very much about helping us to connect into the Akashic records and that recognition that we are in a process of creation ourselves. Nothing is ever set in stone. We can travel back into the Akashic records and kind of work out what we need to do now in order to create a very different pathway for ourselves in the future. And indeed with mindful awareness of the needs of future generations as well. Oops, yeah, cards are leaping out, so it's a good shuffle here. We'll use 3 from this pack today. I'm going to move these higher up so that we can actually see where we are a little bit, a bit of space and a bit of room. Move the Art of Manifestation cards too. Very earthy feeling to the energy in here today, actually. Very, very earthy. Now we are going to draw from the Keepers of the Light. Just one from this pack. And now should we use the Art of Manifestation cards next, I think? Oh, wow. Flying out everywhere. Just one. And then lastly, but most definitely not leastly, we are using the Archangel Michael cards. Actually really wanting to give thanks to those who love and guide us, those who work alongside us. They do work alongside us, walk and work alongside us. Interestingly enough, another piece of tribal wisdom, I suppose, coming through. I was listening to a recording by Sandra Ingerman. I don't know if any of you have come across her. She teaches shamanism and is just extraordinary. And she pointed something out which I thought was really, really magical in its wisdom. And she said, we often sort of, in our requests for guidance, it's as though we reach out and ask people, we invite them to come and join us or to come and help us. We open ourselves in that way. We literally say, could you please come to me with something? Could you show me something? And she said, they're with you all the time. They walk alongside us all of the time. We don't actually need to invite them in because they're already there. What we actually need to do is open ourselves or ask for assistance in opening ourselves so that we become present enough to see what they are showing to us. So it's a real shift in that perspective where we bring that sense of accountability back to ourselves. Again, she who weighs the truth. We are open to seeing and to receiving that which is already there on offer for us. We don't have to call them in, as it were. They're already there. I thought that was absolutely magical. Really, really wonderful piece of guidance, actually. Lovely, lovely piece of guidance there. So here we have Archangel Michael coming in here as well. So thanking all of those who walk alongside us, who love and guide us. So wonderful friends, we're now going to draw runes. I think it will be 2 for each. There we go, fantastic. Okay, so here we have reading 1, reading 2 and reading number 3. This is the time to really just sit with your intuition. Some of you will already know exactly which reading or readings are speaking to you. Wonderful friends, pause the video if you need to. The timings are in the comments and in the information box below. So do fast forward, and I will, as I said, put a little tiny extra video on at the end for Geminis, just to give you a quick overview of some of the information that was in the reading that was not that we were not able to actually publish or not able to make public at this moment in time. I say that because of course we are now looking at, myself and colleagues are looking at how we might approach this. So and yeah, do get yourselves on any of our email lists if you want to. That's the AZ of Emotional Health email list, or mine, Jenny Florence, just so that you can yeah, find your way onto to receive information, and we'll keep you posted as to what is going to happen and how we might move forwards. Wonderful friends, so much love to you. Namaste. Welcome to reading number 1 with our beautiful selenite heart. Let's have a look at our runes first of all. So our first rune is the rune of initiation. So this is like a rite of passage. We're in a transition of some sort. And then we have the rune of protection. Now this rune speaks of kind of managing our emotions, not being overwhelmed, taking right action, walking that pathway of the spiritual warrior, being thoughtful, remembering that emotions can... if we're reactive to our emotions, if we react, it means that it kind of knocks us off balance. They can really knock us off balance. Really important that we walk that steady, consistent pathway. Lovely woodpecker has just arrived in my garden in front of me. Again, they're very consistent. They persevere. They keep going. They take time to get under the bark to find the insects. They look for what's really there. So I think tuning into that energy of the third moon cycle, the wonderful, wonderful full moon in Libra, she who weighs the truth. So yeah, you're being shown something. There's an initiation. I would also say this rune of initiation, the rune of Perth, it also sometimes suggests surprises, rewards, gains, something unexpected usually coming into your world. So it is also symbolised sometimes by the phoenix rising from the ashes, the eagle having the overview. So there's something about coming through something, seeing something with clarity. Again, the full moon always illuminates for us the energy of selenite. And also, selenite is also known as an abundance stone because of, they say, her generous nature. And of course, the moon is very generous, the full moon. She's at her fullest, she shares, she openly shows us things. She illuminates. Oh, my apologies, there's a computer going off in the background. We will ignore that. So that's really where we're sitting at the moment. Beautiful, beautiful energy of selenite, an abundance stone. So being shown something, surprises, rewards, gains, but perhaps coming in unexpected ways. Now let's have a little look and see what our cards are showing us. First card, Archangel Michael. Second card, Beeth, birth. And then the Divine Physician. And I want to say, wow, we have White Spirit, White Eagle, rather, Ancestor Spirit. Very, very interesting to get the White Eagle Ancestor Spirit, especially when we were just talking about rising above, the phoenix coming through the ashes, having the overview of the eagle. Let go gracefully. This is really interesting. And then the Archangel Michael card of innocence. Okay, now this would suggest in this reading that something is coming to an end in order to create a space of new beginnings. So whatever that is, let go gracefully. This card says something in your life is calling for you to let it go. Let go gracefully. Whatever has taken place in the past, it is time to move forwards, and letting go will make way for the new. Whether this is a person, a situation, an outdated thought or behaviour pattern, this card comes to assure you that new horizons are waiting for you. I think that's really powerful, sitting underneath the card of birth, of Beeth. Now this is symbolised, this tunes into the rune of growth, actually, the rune of the birch tree, the rune of growth, Berkana. So very interesting. This is a space of birth, a space of coming through something. Now, the Archangel Michael card is interesting here because Archangel Michael in the Akashic Tarot particularly speaks of lending you his strength and courage. He is walking with you. Now, whatever this transition, this initiation, this rite of passage, this transformation, rebirth, whatever that is, in the uniqueness of your own world, you are being guided and you're being shown the way. This is the right move forwards. Now there's opportunity for a healing here as well. Quite curious because actually the divine physician often suggests that somebody may be coming into your life who will assist you in some way. Either you are going to learn and develop your healing skills and offer them to others. It can sometimes signify that, but it often indicates that someone is coming into your life. It asks you to be prepared for the entry of someone into your life who is going to support you. Archangel Michael is lending you strength and courage and asking you to feel supported, to move through this transition. There's definitely a movement forwards here, an opportunity for a rebirth. Now, White Eagle, Ancestor Spirit, connect to your lineage. A family wound or pattern can be healed now, so you're coming through something as well. Also, to have we've got Archangel Michael here, and then our Archangel Michael card, Innocence. The prayer with this is, Dear God and angels, thank you for helping me see that all your qualities of pure love and light are reflected within me and all others. Help me embrace my God-given innocence so that I may be at peace. Now, this card actually also can indicate that you need to let go of some aspect of blaming yourself for a situation or feeling that you got something wrong, or even indeed blaming others. But it very often is here to assure you of your innocence. It's saying, look, whatever's happened, it's time to move through this. It's time to move beyond it. It's time to let it go. Let go gracefully. Everything in this reading is pointing to a movement through something. It feels a little bit emotionally charged. And it may be that you're feeling that emotional charge at the moment. Now, remember, at the time of every full moon, things are often illuminated for us. At the time of a full moon, because there is an opposition always between, we have the moon and we have the sun. They're always sitting directly opposite one another. And an opposition can bring about friction a little bit, but that friction can also give us traction. That's the energy of a full moon. We're shown things that maybe we need to course correct. We're shown things that we can perhaps release or let go of. It's also full of opportunity. And at the moment when that full moon energy, I would say, almost breaks and we move through it, it's really, really interesting, because as we lean into that space of the new, we often find that there is some kind of emotional release. So this is a pivotal change for you. Something needs to be let go of. You are being given strength. You are being given support. You are being given encouragement. There is a transition. Something is being let go of, whether it is a person, a situation, an outdated thought or behaviour pattern. Something is being let go of. Now, there is healing energy here as well, because the sun is sitting with Chiron opposite our beautiful moon, she who weighs the truth. You can see something very clearly at this time, and you can move through into a space of balance and harmony. And Saturn, of course, is lending the energy of restructuring. So actually you may even be shown very specific steps that you need to take in order to move through something and beyond it. There is opportunity to create a restructure and something new, whether that's a different perspective or indeed to build a different circumstance or situation or relationship around you. Be open to receiving someone or something, I want to say someone, coming into your world who will assist you. And remember, unexpected surprises, rewards, gains. So something is going to come out of this that is really rather magical. Whatever this transition is, something is going to come through this that is come from this situation. You let go of one thing, there's a space of new beginning, and therefore it is loaded with opportunity. Let go of any aspect of blame or judgment, even if the something that's been going on has felt a little bit challenging. Let it go, move into that space of the new, because it's emerging, it's opening up. There is healing opportunity here for you, and very much a space of new beginnings. I'm loving this phoenix rising from the ashes, the eagle soaring high above, seeing that bigger view, the bigger picture. There's a lot of liberation and freedom within this process of letting go, whatever that is for you. There's rebalance, there's healing, there's opportunity. So very, very, very powerful energy around in this full moon time for you guys, whoever has been drawn to reading number 1. The key here, let go gracefully, no judgment or blame. Again, the she who weighs the truth. This assures you of your innocence, and it does ask you, this card of innocence, it really does ask you to let go of any self-criticism within this process. Liberate yourself, move through into the new, open yourself to receive unexpected surprises, rewards and gains, and also to receive support, potentially from, I say him or her, really. It generally does often, the divine physician often indicates somebody coming into your world who is going to be there to assist you in some way. So very magical support coming in with Archangel Michael. I mean, wow. Talk about you're supported. I mean, I feel like you are so supported here. Archangel Michael, White Eagle. Wow. You are the divine physician. It feels as though this initiation, this process of rebirth is absolutely divinely held and supported. So very gorgeous energy in this reading. Really, really magical. Wonderful friends, don't forget to add yourselves to one of my email lists. It's in the information box below to join our monthly subscriber draw, and I will then update you on what will be happening with the readings for all signs and how I progress and proceed with that. Wonderful friends, so much love. Namaste. Welcome to reading number 2. Let's have a little look at our runes. We have the rune of joy. That's lovely. This says that a time of travail has come to an end, carried across the gap by the wings of heaven. It's a new dawn. So something that's been struggled with or has been difficult, whether it's a state of mind or a situation, you're coming through and out the other side. The rune of growth, wonderful, Berkana. Very interesting, because the rune of growth it's a rune, I mean, these are both fruit-bearing runes. So this is a time of travail is coming to an end. Out of darkness into light, the new dawn. Berkana is interesting because I think in this sort of sequence, Berkana, the rune of growth, it's about the flow of someone into a new space of being. It's got a very sort of gentle, penetrating action. It also asks us to cleanse and release, to sort of travel within, remove any resistances. I mean, if we had the rune of journey, we'd really be looking at deep diving within, but this is sort of cleansing. It's like those dark corners. If you were spring cleaning, it's like spring clean in order to make way for the new growth to arrive. It's like weeding your garden so everything can grow and flourish. It's gentle, it's penetrating, it's consistent. That's what's coming through. And also patience is required sometimes. Now that's quite interesting. Let's sit them up here with our beautiful lemon jasper heart. Lemon jasper, it's a nurturer. So there's something about nurturing yourself. Something has come to an end, that's wonderful. Or something is coming to an end, that's wonderful. Because this is lovely, this is clarity coming your way. However, lemon jasper is going to speak of nurturing. It brings that inner stability of wholeness, completeness, strength, courage, determination. Really hearing determination and patience coming through here. There's something about, yes, there's a whole new window opening for you, or you've come through something. It's almost as though you're building something from, yeah, it's like, yeah, you've stepped into a new space, but you're building something. I feel like there's a foundation that's solid underneath you. Let's have a look at our cards, see what we are shown. So our first card, Will, Wisdom and the Mind. Wow, followed by the Akashic Library and the Four of Scrolls, the Karmic Trench. Right, that says a lot really to us. We have Diana, Focused Intention, Leadership, and it's time to leave this unhealthy situation. Wow, now these two are very powerful cards here. I might do some energy shifting in this reading, as I often do, actually. And really, there's some very, very clear messages coming through here. So, will, wisdom, and the mind. Now, this is curious because this card actually says that you're working with very powerful forces that are flowing through you. Often it suggests we're working with ascended masters who actually use the qualities of power and will, love and wisdom, intellect and mind. It's that collaboration. And it says even if you don't know it, the energy of them is flowing through you. Now there's something almost karmic in this reading that is being addressed, hence the karmic trench. Now, Four of Scrolls, the karmic trench. The karmic trench speaks of a difficult pattern in our lives that we are needing to process and work through. I think hence this rune of Berkana, patience. Berkana speaks of a whole new phase of life. I feel like you really get to release something, and I think you already know what it is. It's time to leave this unhealthy situation. Now this card, these two sitting together are very, very powerful. Archangel Michael, what parts of my life do I need to focus on more closely right now? Thank you for helping me hear your answers and for giving me the courage to make healthy changes in my life. So it's time to leave this unhealthy situation suggests that something is going on around you now, and it's time to end it. I think you know what that is. Who, in the uniqueness of your personal situations. For some people, it's an actual situation. For others, it's a situation that's maybe triggered an internal thinking pattern, but it's a pattern that you know. So if you've found yourself feeling stuck in a situation, it's time to move forwards. It could just be, for some of you, a mindset. Literally a thinking pattern where you're going over and over and over the same old. Or it may actually be a circumstance, but the two are interconnected because in a way, if we have some entrenched thinking patterns that we keep going over and over in our head, they will often then co-create the things that we don't want rather than the things that we do. This is a time of shift. Again, this is our wonderful moon, she who weighs the truth. You're able to see things at this time and bring things back into balance. The energy of ascended masters is flowing with you, and you get to really address this. Now, the Akashic Library, it speaks of our ability to manifest. Sometimes it literally can indicate that you're writing a book, or your book will get published, or something along those lines. But it's really about writing those records and rewriting those records. This card invites you sometimes to write a statement about the future that you want to see. Diana, focused intention. Think about what you desire. Set your sights high. Expect the best possible outcome. Leadership. We all lead by example, our words and actions presenting a role model to everyone that we come into contact with. This card asks you to take an ownership of your personal leadership qualities and to align your thoughts, words and actions with everything you wish to see in the world. There's something here about a shift within you that then creates a ripple into the world where, expect the best possible outcome, where because you've created that shift internally, it's almost as though quite quickly, I think, the external world starts to then mirror those internal changes. There's an energetic shift, and we're going to create a shift in energy here as well during the reading. Diana is a beautiful card to draw here. Notice she has a moon in her headdress here. Now, Diana is associated, her energy is associated with the moon, and so we have this incredible full moon in Libra, balance. Diana was a hunter, and she would hunt at night. So she's associated with the moon. She invites you to step into your true power. So there's something about stepping into your power, becoming the leader of your own destiny, the creator of your own destiny. It's time to leave something behind, whatever that is. Relationship, situation, circumstance, or indeed for some people it is just a thinking pattern, but there's a connection to the internal thinking patterns here, one way or the other. Now, I think you already know what this is. I think it's really interesting because the karmic trench really does say to us, look, you're going to need to consciously work at this. You know what it is, you can see it clearly. Every time you see this pattern arriving in your mind, you need to consciously choose not to go there. The Akashic Library, I'd be really inviting you guys to maybe tune into affirmations. So if we write a statement, an affirmation, I think an affirmation needs to carry a bit of power. It needs to pack a punch to really carry weight. So for example, if somebody had treated you badly, it's no good making an affirmation up that says everybody in the world is lovely, because your thinking pattern is saying everybody in the world is the opposite of that. Because actually a part of you will not believe that to be true. In reality it's not. We're going to meet a balance of good and bad wherever we go. What matters is what we choose to do with that. And this is what this reading is really, I think, saying to you. It's saying shift those internal energies within you. Step up, make a statement or an affirmation. You know, for example, the example I was just giving, you know, instead of everybody in the world is good and will treat me well, actually a statement of power, of empowerment would be, you know, I'm going to meet all kinds of people in the world, and I make an absolute commitment to myself to step up into a position of leadership and choose consciously how I respond to every situation and every person I meet. That's a bit long-winded, but you get the flavour of this. Craft a statement, craft an affirmation that will counterbalance the energy of the karmic trench. So when a pattern surfaces at the tip of your tongue, you've got a well-rehearsed statement that you can remind yourself with. It brings you back into line. Likewise, you might want to craft a statement that says this is, you know, that describes the shape of the future you want for yourself. So if you struggle with issues of entitlement around abundance or around receiving love, you know, write a statement. My world is full of love and entitlement, or my world is full of abundance. You know, something that's very, you know, very much there. Again, you've got it at the tip of your tongue. Write it down, carry it with you. Check in on it. Remind yourself several times a day. It stops these statements from the karmic trench kind of stuff from repeating, because if we try to just stop a thinking pattern, it's actually much easier to change it if we replace it with something. You know, rather than leaving a space where it can still appear, if we fill that space with something that is positive and aligned with the world we wish to see for ourselves, that it creates a very different energy shift, and we carry it around with us. So we're starting to, using the words we use, we're starting to create a space in which the language within us is holding the vision of the future for ourselves. What then happens is that all of this empowerment, this is where we're going to shift some energy. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to bring up our astrology stones. It's really interesting how these readings are so in alignment with the astrological energy of healing. So we have the illumination. We know, we open ourselves to see clearly what's going on, but with joy and appreciation and gratitude. Venus bringing us back into harmony, and Chiron, the energy of healing. Saturn offering us an opportunity to completely restructure those thinking patterns. So what happens if we start to create this statement here is that instead of us having this energy, but we're still sort of almost at the moment in the flow in the reading, we're kind of blocked here by this karmic trench. We're going to shift these. So let's just sit with this. I'll just get you to tune in with what it actually physically feels like for you. Remember, the supreme nurturer here, lemon jasper, holds us together during times of stress, bringing inner stability and a sense of wholeness and completeness. This is about nurture, patience, perseverance, consistency. That was what was coming through right at the beginning of the reading. So this is where we are at the moment. It's like the resources are available to you. You see clearly, opportunity to restructure is here, but persistence and consistency are needed. So what we're then going to do is shift the energy along. We're going to bring these here so we see what we need to change. We can see that. We know it's time to leave that behind, whether it's a thinking pattern or something that we have inadvertently ended up with in our world. Now, focused intention, will, wisdom and mind. The energy is with you to flow through. Become your own leader. Step up. Create that new direction, that new vision, that statement, that affirmation, or indeed several if needed. Keep them with you. Remind yourself constantly you are replacing this with this, and that creates a very different flow of energy. Very much about building something, but you do need, and I'm hearing this really clearly, to be persistent, consistent and incredibly supportive of yourself as you move into this space where you address this and you leave it behind. Wonderful friends, such a powerful reading for this full moon, and so appropriate in its energy. Wonderful friends, thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to get yourself onto one of my email lists. There's a link to the subscriber drawer. You can hear my dog in the background drinking water. She's just woken up. She's very elderly, the one that I have left now. So if you can hear her lapping away in the background, that is a very beautiful animal spirit sitting with us today. She's been sprawled out on the floor next to me while I've been doing this reading. Very lovely, lovely, lovely energy for her to bring here. So much wisdom. She's such an old soul. So, dear friends, don't forget to join the email list. If you join the subscriber drawer, you're automatically then in the drawer, and I will update you regarding my own decisions about what to do, about, further readings. I will continue to upload the weekly readings every Sunday without fail, but with the readings for all signs that span between equinoxes and solstices, I'll keep you posted on what I'm going to do on that. So get yourself on those email lists if you want to be kept in that loop. So much love to you. Namaste. Welcome to reading number 3. Let's have a look at our runes. Our first rune is the rune of separation, and our second is the rune of the warrior. So this is really interesting. So the rune of separation would suggest that you've outgrown something. Something that was maybe appropriate on your journey previously has now, you've outgrown it. It's like a snake shedding its skin. It may have been appropriate to your growth and your learning previously, whether this is an easy situation or a difficult one. One way or the other, it's time to leave something behind. This sometimes actually speaks of real property. It can just be a thinking pattern or a way of life. It can actually be a somebody. The rune of the warrior speaks of discernment. And so it really asks you to cut away the old, to get rid of, to literally, take charge of those things in your life that are no longer serving you, whatever aspect of your world that is. Such a powerful set of readings for this full moon. The clan mother, she who weighs the truth. It's quite extraordinary how attuned to the energy they are, and also agate. I mean, it's all about rebalancing, realigning ourselves. So let's have a look at what we have. So we have 4 of roses, views of the ego, 5 of keys, wishes fulfilled, and the sands of time, 6 of scrolls. This is really, really interesting because the 4 of roses actually does suggest that there is somebody in your world who is kind of, I want to say they're a bit of a drain. Drains and radiators, it's that symbolism, isn't it? Drains and radiators. If we think about, some people are drains, some people are radiators. If you are a radiator and you meet another radiator, then it's just amazing because everything just expands and radiates out and it's just marvellous. But if a radiator meets a drain, that drain will drain them. And this is what this card really speaks of. It suggests that there is someone in your life, in your energy field, that has not really given back to you as much as you have given them. The warrior rune, discernment, is asking you to really, really address this. 5 of Keys, this is an amazing card. Wishes fulfilled. This is, like, for me, one of the cards of abundance. It's so positive. It's just saying, look, it's time for you to have what you deserve. It's like an affirmation of saying goodbye to this in order to have this. Now, it's quite interesting because I think for some of you that it's one person. For others, it's more than one person. It could be a friend, a family member. It could be somebody who is just still almost of your past, but they're still clinging a little bit. You know, there's still something of the energy of them around. You are being asked to cut a cord here, separation, move beyond something, let go of it. Interesting, the 6 of Scrolls. Now, this also says don't miss the opportunity. It says the timing, sometimes it's like timing is of the essence. It's what this card is really saying is, look, this is the right moment to do this. The timing is right to do this. Your kind of abundance is really being suggested. It's time you embrace your sense of entitlement, your desire to it's not even your desire, it's your entitlement, your right to have more than this, not to be the radiator that's constantly drained by others. That's the flavour of it. It's time to get something back for yourself, to have what you deserve. The Sands of Time. Don't miss this opportunity. This card also actually says keep going. It says you need to reach you need to make an effort to reach your end goal. So there is something you're working at. This is not new to you. You're in this process of separation in some way. You're moving through and beyond something. Don't give up. Keep going. The end goal is in sight. When we are trying to process the drains of the world, in a way, it's, we can give so much that we become so depleted that even though we're still fueling and investing in that end goal and that end desire for ourselves, we're not able to give it our full amount of energy because we're too tired, we're drained. And so this is saying keep going, make that effort. Let's see what our other cards are showing. So we have Lady Nada, Heart Awakening. This is beautiful. Self-respect and expectation. This is very powerful. So, expectation. This card says, expectation is a form of memory. Our past experiences colour our expectations of future circumstances and outcomes. You are asked to release any form of negative expectations based on past experiences and centre yourself in the infinite possibility of now. Now, expectation is, if you are a glass half full or a glass half empty person, even very often, interestingly enough, radiators are glass half full people, and yet they never quite allow their own glass to be filled. It's because they are a glass half full, they're often, pouring the contents of their glass into other people to support them in following their dreams or believing more about themselves. But deep down, it's actually undermining your own self-belief. Sometimes we enter relationships with people and in a way we avoid the fact that somewhere deep in us we're not really allowing ourselves to believe that we deserve more. There's something of that flavour here. It's time to move beyond that. Very interesting again. Agate, it's not just about realigning and rebalancing ourselves, mind, body and spirit. It's really, it brings a sense of, safety really, I suppose, and it clarifies any indecisions that we might have. That's the thing about Agate. It clarifies our decision-making process. So there's something about making some clear decisions, being discerning, thinking about how you navigate this. If you still have people in your world who have expectations of you and your past has led you to believe that you have an obligation to fulfill those expectations in some way, it's time to let that pattern go. self-respect. Wonderful, wonderful message from Archangel Michael. The prayer here: dear God and angels, thank you for helping me see myself as you see me, through the eyes of love. This is Lady Nada energy too. Thank you for honouring and respecting me. Please guide me to do the same for myself and grant me the courage to speak up on my own behalf. I ask for your protection in all of my relationships so that I am surrounded by loving and kind people. This reading is really saying believe in yourself. Let go of anything and anybody that could be clinging to you in order to get from you. You know, whether it's somebody who really is quite fundamentally narcissistic, who's been really clinging to you, draining you for years, or whether it is someone who has the energy of them is just around. It's time to draw some boundaries around you. Now I'm going to draw on the astrology here. Lady Nada, I just want to say, awaken to acceptance and divine love. Give and receive in balance. That's the astrology here. Wonderful moon in Libra, full moon in Libra, showing us what is out of balance. She who weighs the truth, the clan mother. She who weighs the truth, showing us what we need to address and what we need to rebalance. Sitting obviously opposite the sun, that's what happens in a full moon, but sitting with Venus, also calling us to address any imbalance within ourselves. Chiron, the wounded healer, addressing any issues of healing. And Saturn, the energy of Saturn, flowing in to help us to restructure, to let go of anything that no longer serves us. Very, very powerful reading. This is really saying any expectations that you have that may be held within that stop you from believing in yourself. Everything here is saying you are worthy, you are worth it, you are amazing, you are special, you are absolutely somebody who shines, and you need to start to shine for yourself and believe in your right and entitlement to do so. Timing is of the essence. This is really, for me, very interesting. If this were a personal reading, I would be drawing clarifying cards around the Four of Roses to see who this is. And I would, although I think you probably know, and it could be a group of people. For some, it could even be like a family system you're letting go of. But I would also be drawing clarifying cards around the sands of time. It's like, what's this about? You know, there's something that you need to take action. You need to believe in and persevere in your goals coming to fruition. Something is coming through. Do you know what I'm also being shown here? It's really clear. You've been working, some of you guys have really been working at something. For some, you really just have been held back by the energy of somebody who's a drain. It's quite funny, the person who taught me about drains and radiators was the biggest drain I've ever met. Quite fascinating, really. Wonderful, though, because I truly thank that person for that wonderful analogy, which I use time and again. The sands of time. Timing is of the essence. You're working at something. And it's almost as though it's like there are people who are clinging to you because they can see that you're going to achieve, you could potentially achieve, and they want a part of your success. They want a piece of the pie. They want a slice of your success. So it's almost, yeah, for some of you, it is literally moving away from someone. For others, it's recognizing, being discerning about the people who are around you, who are only in it for what they're going to get. So be very discerning, be very thoughtful. Everything in this reading is about you are worth it. Everything in this reading is saying go for it, persevere, continue. Let go, sever some of those ties. Know that you don't have to keep people in your world who are really just in it for themselves. You know, very powerful reading, very powerful message. So yeah, get yourself really clear here. The energy of Agate really helps you to rebalance and realign, and that is what the astrology is really showing us at this time of the clan mother moon, she who weighs the truth. Wonderful friends, don't forget to join my email lists if you want to be updated on what I do or don't do around the readings that I'll be hopefully doing, that span several months, working from equinoxes to solstices. I'm going to have to really evaluate myself and look at where this fits. I will, of course, continue to post weekly readings every single Sunday, because these don't seem to have any problem or any issue with being uploaded. Wonderful friends, thank you so much for joining me. So much love, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Namaste. Welcome, Geminis, or if you're cross-watching for Geminis, this reading was suitable for Sun in Gemini, Moon in Gemini, Gemini rising. What I want to do is just give you a very brief overview. So the top row of cards and runes, the message that came through, this is for April, is really you're going through something, you're processing something, you're working at something. It's a bit like moving house, something like that. You're either moving house or you're moving to a new job. It's something quite significant. What the row of cards in April showed us was that, you just need to take it one step at a time. Persevere, be consistent. It's going to happen. Just keep on going. In May, the middle row of cards and runes were an indication that whatever you are doing, embarking on, the transition of April, I think it comes to fruition in May, which is very, very exciting. And I think you basically get there, you arrive, whatever it is that you are moving through in April, you arrive in May. Very, very exciting. I think you might find yourselves needing to do a bit of self-care towards the end of May, because I think it's a big shift that's taking place, and therefore you're going to need to be involved in some self-care and some self-nurture. The bottom row of cards in June shows us that it's as though once you've kind of now arrived and landed, it is now time to really, really start to step onto that new foundation, that new platform, that new space of arrival, and start to make things happen. Take charge of manifesting the next chapter of your life, because everything is starting to emerge and move forwards. So that in a nutshell is the essence of April, May and June. For you guys, I will keep you posted if you're on any of my email lists. I'll probably make an announcement on YouTube as well, but do get yourself joined to any of the email lists in the information box below. That way, and indeed in the comments, that way I can keep you posted as to what I'm going to do and how I'm going to try and move forwards with the readings for all signs. It's the longer ones that we seem to be having difficulty with. I need to follow that process through, see what I can do, if I can address that via YouTube, and if not, I need to look at other platforms and how I might be able to move that forwards. So wonderful friends, so much love to you. That is your very brief summary, and I hope to be able to actually in some way, shape or form get this full reading out there for you to be able to access. But I'll need to, as I said, look at and weigh up all of the possible avenues to be able to do that. So much love to you all. Namaste.